everybody, welcome. I am very excited to do something that we have never done before, and that is a virtual van tour. And our special guest today is Dillion with Thomas Locks. Okay. So now you're located up in Canada, right?
Yeah, Prince Edward Island, capital Prince Edward Island is Charlottetown, and I'm based there. I service the entire province. It's not too big, about 4 hours from one end to the other, and I'm right in the middle. So yeah, that's where I am. East Coast. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. On the East Coast up there in Canada. So that's a pretty big range that you service. Now, what type of work do you do?
I do everything basically. Commercial and residential is what I advertise. But I like to be able to try to do everything. There's not too many locksmiths here. So if there's any way that I can help anybody, then I will make my best effort to do that. So most of my work is residential, and I have the odd commercial job, even a safe or two here or there. Because I am just a sole proprietor, it's just me. I feel more comfortable having a new van that I don't have to worry about things breaking down. And I like having a nice new van, I'll admit it. I've had some pretty shoddy vans in the past, so having a new van is nice, and I think it's a very professional look, so I'm glad that I can bring that to my customers.
Good stuff. Well, you know what? I'll go ahead and do you want to start on the cockpit in the front, or you want to start in the back?
Let's work our way from the front to the back. That makes sense.
All right, let's do it.
So up front, you got your standard Ford Transit interior here. When I got this vehicle, I tried doing a search on Ford Transit Locksmith van, and I couldn't really quite find anything. So I've kind of just been building it from scratch, and I got a few inspirations here and there. I know how I found Wayne Winton was actually typing in Milwaukee Locksmith van, and that linked to his video. So that's how I got connected with him.
Okay, now is there any custom work or features that you've included in the front, like maybe for taking notes or anything that kind of helps you with doing your job?
Actually, I'm a huge fan of these bins. Okay, so this thing was only like $6. I did at one point kind of have some kind of a custom like little organizer here to organize my stuff, but every time I had a friend or had to take somebody somewhere, I was dealing with all that, so I just dropped it all in this bin. So now whenever I have a passenger, I can just take it out and throw it back in. If I want to keep it more secure, I can just pop it in the back. So big fan of these bins.
Cool.
Yeah, so I've got like my computer there, some catalogs and stuff, notepads, everything you need basically right there. I do have my standard notepad there, and I love magnets. I got a magnet clip there. Yeah, so those I can do my phone there on the other one, bullet bill. I don't know if that's relevant, but oh, actually, here's something that might be interesting for you. I remember you had somebody asking about how do you deal with moisture in your van, and this was a huge issue for me in the winter. I came into my van one morning and almost everything was covered in frost. So I immediately went out and ordered some of these. Also, you want to make sure the inside of your van is always dry. Try to kick your boots off well. AC is great for keeping your van dry, but hey, go ahead.
Yeah, so what exactly is that in your hand there?
It is a what is it? I'm not exactly sure what the product was, but it absorbs moisture. They're common in RVs. I bought 5 of them and just chucked them around my van. They do seem to help with fogging up and moisture, so I haven't had any problems since I got these.
Oh, that's a great tip. So if someone were to want to get some for their van, like a local RV dealer would probably have them then?
Yeah, definitely. I did check one of the local hardware stores, and in the RV section, they had a similar product, but it was like these little pellets that are in a can, and then that thing could fall over and they get everywhere. I wasn't able to find these locally. I had to find those online. So, but RV moisture pack, I think is what you're looking for there.
Good stuff, man. Like, honestly, that's a great little tip there. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So I've got a rack in here. I put a rack in. I'll just go around to the other side. This is actually the first thing I did. Very important to have your locksmith stuff secure. You don't want anyone getting a hold of that stuff. I keep an extra shirt. You never know when you're going to need extra stuff. I love Wayne's saying there, one is none and two is one. It's a great saying. So, which I try to go by as well. I put an inverter in, actually. That's one more thing. I did wire up a Synwave inverter. It's not easy in this vehicle either, I'll tell you. You got to take half the engine compartment out to get that in there. So not very easy access to the battery, but I did get that wired in nicely. And what,
if I can ask you about that for a second, how many watts did you put in?
Only 1,000. Now, I know that's a little bit below the average of what some of the guys are doing, but it's served me really well. No issues yet. I've got 3 LED light strips in here, actually 4 now. And I charge my batteries. I run a bench grinder. I have a Framin 2, and everything's been working great so far. So 1,000 seems to be doing the trick so far. So fingers crossed.
That's great.
Yeah. So my switch for my inverter is here, and this is kind of a nice central location. I can get it from the cab. I can get it from either side in the back. So that, just turn that on there, and then this guy has its own switch as well. I like a lot of light up front. I've had issues before with not having enough light, especially older vans. I don't know if you remember before we could get things like this. It was kind of a pain. You had that silly little light, and I ran into some trouble with that. So I didn't skimp on the lighting system. So these are actually a grow light. They're about $40, and it's a big bright light. I figure if it can grow a plant, then it's good enough for me. So that's what I went with there.
Yeah, that's actually a really cool hack there, to put a light up front. So at night, when you need to do paperwork or look at something, you can pop that on and you have great light over just what comes standard on a vehicle.
Absolutely. Yeah. The little light that's included is not nearly enough, especially if you've got stuff in the floor in your organizer. I definitely recommend putting a light up front, 100%.
That's great.
Cool. Okay. I'll come back around and then we'll open up that side and start over there. Love the dual doors. So, and I did install a slick lock system here. I don't know if you're familiar with that, or
yeah.
I did have to slightly modify this. The door didn't quite clear the bracket that was included, so this just had to be cut down a little bit. Okay. Funny thing, nobody on PEI has even ever heard of these things, so pretty low crime here. It's a pretty good place. But yeah. So okay.
All right. So here's the back.
Yeah. So here we are. Now this, I've had this van for about 3 months now. It's kind of a work in progress. I built it from the ground up.
Can I ask you a question about it?
Absolutely.
When you got the van and you were setting it up, right? Everyone has different work they do, like their primary work they do out of the van, and preferences, really. And so you had to have one thing or two things that were most important to you when you were setting that up. But I'm curious what those were. Were they a good spot to rekey, easy to grab tools?
I've actually got a pretty funny story for you about that. So, I've been in situations before where I've been out on the road for like 10 hours, and my one requirement or my one desire was that if needed, I could actually have a setup where I could lay down if I needed to. Okay. Now, yeah, so I thought if I'm on the road or a road trip, I want to be able to lay down in my van and take some time off if I need to. So kind of a funny little thing, I know, and I haven't had to use that yet, fortunately. But so I was kind of designing it in mind that I could have a center line through the back where if I needed to make some space, I could take a little nap. Hasn't come up yet, but there have been situations before where it would definitely be useful. So, and I looked into the packages for these things, and they're not cheap. They're in the thousands of dollars. So my initial plan was to build it from wood and just customize it and do it myself. That does take a bit of time. One of the things that was important to me, or another thing that was important to me, is that if I need to make space in here and clear it out, that I can. You know, I had considered custom building shelving and woodwork and stuff, but that stuff can be time consuming to make and remove and whatnot. So I kind of wanted to have a modular system where if I had to move a big safe all of a sudden, or even a door, I could just pull everything out really quick and put it back in. So I did end up with a lot of Milwaukee pack-out stuff and a few other things that I custom did. So that was kind of my main thing, to be able to be versatile. Can I make space in the van? And yeah. So, and it's kind of been slowly building as the need arises. So I've been adding shelves here and there as I need them. So it's a bit of a working process, but it's coming along nice and I enjoy it.
So just kind of so typically how we do it at this point is that if you were to kind of hop in there and just give us, like the 2-3 minute tour all the way around.
Absolutely. Okay. So I'll just start by saying that I do prefer to stand when I'm working. I feel more productive when I'm standing. So with this setup, I can typically work standing up as long as the weather's not too bad. So going inside the van is kind of a backup plan or second resort. But if I do need to go in, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this, and I've got my vacuum here, which doubles as a bench. So, I had a bench and a vacuum and then realized I could just sit on this. So why not do that? It's not a big van. I've got to make the most of the space. So, yeah. And I'm a big fan of kits. So if I can just walk up, I've got my lockout kit. I've got my kind of general maintenance kit here. And then I've got my install kit back there. Kind of just spare stuff here. And then some more tools here. I've probably got more stuff than I need, but I'm kind of getting that figured out as I go along, what I need and what I don't. But and then a few car open up tools like this just pulls out. We all know what this is. So love this. Oh, yeah. It's worked great for me. So I keep my drill here. There's my drill. I've got an eye wash station here. I've got a fire extinguisher here. So safety first. Because I'm just by myself, I think that's important. And I also was a level 3 first aid attendant, so I think that is carried over a little. Couple little quirks here. I've got, if you can get up here, I've got a paper towel roll. That's nice. And did I mention? Yeah, so I'm going to get in the van now just to show you what that looks like. And we'll go from there. So this is me in the van. As you can see, I fit. So I've got my pin kit here. Right now it's set up for working on the other side of the van. But as I said before, I do love magnets. So this is actually magnetized down. So it's quite easy to turn around if I need to do some work here with that.
Great.
So I've got that there. And then I've got this drawer system here. So I've got some pinning tools here. Just extra stuff here. All kinds of little things. I could spend 3 hours going over every little thing, so I'm probably just leave that out. But so I've got some mini pin kits here. Spare keys. My main key supply wall is here, and that's a work in process. I finally just got my labels up, some of them, so I got my main ones there.
Sure.
My key machine. Yeah. So my key machine, as you see here, I have the Flash Mobile, and I had it on a wood rack that was kind of spinning, but I didn't feel like it was sturdy enough, so I just put in this metal one yesterday. So unfortunately right now, if I want to turn this around and work inside, I do have to undo these 2 screws and physically turn it around. So
okay.
I did have it on a swivel, but I just didn't totally trust it, so I'm just going with that right now. The weather's great. Maybe in the winter I'll turn it around, and if I can just work outside the van for now, that's what I'll do. Tons of extra screws down here. I built this little aluminum rack, so all my extra screws down there. Now, if I want to actually pin up a lock here, I've got a bench here with my pinning mat there, and this is all sitting on top of a Milwaukee pack-out system. And you can just kind of get at everything as you need. So spare stuff here. If I want to open this compartment, I can go like that. And then here, I've got more stuff. In retrospect, I may have went with drawers here. I've got drawers on the bottom with power tools and extra things there. So the drawers might have been a little bit convenient, but if I'm ever on a big job and I just say, hey, I need all my mortise cylinder stuff, so I can just pull that off and take that and go. So that's kind of cool.
That is great. That's really great. Now, am I spotting Freeman 2 in the background there?
Yes, sir, you are. And that's thank you to your recommendation, by the way. Kudos to that. This actually is on a spindle. So if it's winter and I can't work out of the back, then I can spin that around here and work on it. So that's what's happening there. And then I think I got another little pin hold. Yeah, so I've just got this that holds it in. So that clamps down there. This little rack I just put in for some stock. I do have a little welder kind of tucked in there. I've got what do I got? Just a couple things down there. Nothing too special. But love the Freeman. Love the Freeman or Freeman?
Freeman. Yep.
Freeman. Yeah, got it. Okay. Love it. Great machine. I think that pretty much covers it for in here. I don't know if you have any more questions about what's going on in here.
No, I think that's absolutely great. We can switch modes here. If you want to stand outside again, we'll just do a little outtake, and I think that's great.
Great. So I'll just show you the back if you want to see the back access.
Okay, yep.
Yep. Back here, you've got my, these doors are kind of cool. They actually will go a little bit further if you need them to. So again, here I have access to my Freeman 2, and I've got my code book here. I use this almost daily for, especially for quick set cuts when I'm using my code reader for that.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's been great. And I've got one of those little moisture packs I told you about just sitting there. That was a good place for me.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, got my bench grinder here. See? Little stock shelf, extra supplies.
Okay.
Yeah, some drawers, tons of screws, just lots of little things. I like to fix things when I can. If I can fix something, I will. So, and then this actually, if I need to move this whole thing, this will just come right off. Move that around if I needed to take it somewhere or something.
That's great. You have a very modular system going on.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. Yeah. So it's nice if I need to change things up or make room for things, I can do that on the fly. It's a dual door system. Okay. So this is actually kind of my go-to, at least in the summertime. This is where I come to do all my business here. So as you can see, I've kind of been slowly building this up. I just started with this bench here, and then I added a nice thick piece of steel to it for stamping. And then I added this guy here, which has a nice little LED below it. And then these magnets are a recent addition, and these are really great. Like, if you ever go to drop something, 90% of the time, this magnet will catch whatever it is. So I've caught in a lot of little parts on those magnets. So that's cool. Love the Flash Mobile. So my Flash. yeah, a little bench vise here. I find it's good not to have this mounted down because sometimes you really got to pound on something. So I'll just keep it loose, and then if I have to get something on the sidewalk or something to whack on it, I just do it that way.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it.
Well, Dylan, I have to tell you, your van, I love seeing the fact that you've really took your time and you thought about how the best to use the space you have, modular systems, magnets, extra lights, all of that kind of stuff. It is actually pretty cool. I wish I could see the van in person.
Thanks very much. Oh, I got some.
Well, Dylan, I have to say, I am very impressed with your van setup. I love all the little tricks that you've put together with the light up front, all the different magnets, dealing with the moisture in your van. I think there's a lot of little nuggets that people in the industry can take and apply to their situation.
Right on. I'm glad that I can help, and I appreciate all the help I've gotten from you. And yeah, so hopefully someone can get something from this and make their day better.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I wish I could actually see it in person because it's a pretty cool setup you got going on there. Now, I have one last question for you that I have to ask, and that is, what is your van's name?
I think I'm going to name it Dell, after my mother, my late mother, who's passed away. So this is Dell.
There we go, Dell. Good stuff. Good stuff, Dell. Well, hey, thank you for doing our first ever virtual van tour. Really good setup, man, and I wish you the best of luck and success out there. So,
my pleasure, PJ. I really appreciate you having me on. This has been super fun. So, anytime.
Awesome. Well, sounds good, and we'll talk soon. All right, everybody, listen, I would love to know your thoughts on Dylan's van. It's a pretty cool setup, but I really want to know what you think in the comments below. And make sure that you include the hashtag Lockboss to automatically get entered in to win one of 5 free prizes we give away each week here on YouTube. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.